Why is gossip so boring? I know, that sounds like a crazy question, right? You might be thinking, boring? Gossip is literally the most interesting thing I talk about all day. But stick with me here. What if there's a really strong case that gossip is actually one of the least interesting ways we can spend our time? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you something. Just think about it for a sec. The last time you were hanging out with your friends, what did you really talk about? Were you dreaming up a new business idea, sharing something you're excited about, or did you end up just talking about other people's lives? That simple question right there is the whole point of what we're digging into today.
And that leads us right to the main idea here, the case against gossip. Now, this isn't about saying it's bad or that you're a bad person for doing it. It's about looking at why it might actually be holding you back. So, what's the first piece of this argument?
Well, here's the first big claim. At its heart, gossip just doesn't serve any real, meaningful purpose. Think about that for a second. All those stories, all those little secrets, our source here is arguing that it's basically all empty. It's kind of like conversational junk food, you know? It feels good in the moment, but it doesn't actually give you any real nourishment.
And it doesn't stop there. It's not just pointless. It's a genuine waste of time. I mean, every single minute you spend talking about what someone else is doing is a minute you're not spending on your own life. That's time you could be putting into your own goals, your own relationships, your own growth.
Okay, so if gossip is so pointless, why are we all so obsessed with it? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it brings us to this really interesting idea called the negativity paradox. It's this weird thing humans do where we're drawn to stuff that we know isn't good for us. So why can't we just look away? This quote kind of gives us a big clue. It points to a simple fact we see in the media all the time. Negativity sells. Bad news just grabs our attention. And, maybe that explains our fascination with gossip. Is it possible we're just wired to pay attention to drama and conflict, even when it has absolutely nothing to do with us?
So we're kind of stuck with this conflict, right? On one hand, the claim is that gossip is a total waste of time. But on the other hand, the reality is that our brains are drawn to negativity like moths to a flame. So is it just a harmless habit, or is there something bigger going on? Well, instead of getting bogged down in that, the analysis suggests looking at it from a totally different angle, through the lens of a core principle.
So, how do we get out of this mess? The idea is to completely shift our focus. Let's stop asking if gossip is boring or exciting, and instead ask a much deeper question. Is it right? And that brings us to a really powerful guiding principle, privacy.
And this right is defined pretty clearly here. It's the right to keep your life to yourself, without people thinking you're being antisocial or weird for it. It's all about respecting that some parts of a person's life are just not for public discussion. It's a simple, but honestly a really profound respect for personal boundaries.
And here's where it all clicks. Respecting someone's privacy is really just minding your own business. But that doesn't mean being passive or disconnected. It's actually an active choice to focus your energy on your own life, your own journey, your own challenges. It's about taking back control of your own story. So we've kind of gone on a little journey here, right? We started by calling gossip boring, then we tried to understand its weird pull on us, and finally, we looked at it through the lens of privacy. Let's pull this all together with one last thing to think about.
And this is the question I want to leave you with. We started out by calling gossip boring, but maybe empty is a better word for it. So just imagine for a second. What would happen if you decided to just cut out all the empty conversations from your life? What would you suddenly have time for? What amazing ideas, or deep connections, or incredible adventures would you fill all that new space with? Something to think about.